but I managed to fumble my Roblox interview, my Meta interview, my Amazon interview, my Circle interview, my TikTok interview, my Square interview. All of those big companies, I managed to fumble those in. Making the switch from biomed into computer science was 100% worth it for me. When I was in biomedical sciences and I was applying for jobs when I graduated, I literally couldn't find any with just a biomed degree. Now, most people know with just a biomed degree, biology, chemistry, etc., you're not really meant to find a job with just that. You're meant to go into more schooling. Now, with the computer science degree, I kind of took it as another option. Like, hey, should I do this instead of go to optometry school, etc.? And after completing my computer science degree, I ended up getting a job right after I graduated. Now, I fell short. I got a job at the CRA. Me personally, I wanted a job at FAANG. And that's been my goal from the start because I'll be honest with you, even though I like coding somewhat, I do this for money. I don't do this for fun. So some of the negatives is, of course, cost, right? So for me, I took OSAP out, and it cost me about 14K, just the loan portion of the OSAP to get my computer science degree. Now, for some of you, you guys might have more grants, you guys might have more scholarships. So you just have to keep that in mind when you're going through it. So that's a negative. A positive is you can transfer credit so you can work while you're in school this time around, because now you're probably at an age where you want more money and being a broke university student just doesn't cut it out anymore, right? Another thing is just time consuming. Like a lot of computer science courses, they're not time consuming as much as labs were, but they're time consuming in terms of learning. You always have something new to learn. Now, everything you learn, I'll say at least 70% is 1,000 times more functional than anything you learned while you're getting your bio degree or chem degree, right? Because you could apply it to stuff that you do in the future or apply to jobs. Now, there's some things that you learn that might be useless, but a lot of things that I felt like I learned was useful. Now, when it comes to getting a job, I don't really have anything special to tell you. So my goal was to get to one of the main companies, which was Meta, Apple, Google, Amazon, and any one of the main, bro, it didn't even matter about the company. It just mattered about the pay. That was my goal, right? I'll talk later about how I got close to my goal, but kind of fell short. But the main thing to getting a job is having a good resume. The resume is like, if you don't listen to anything I say, just listen to this. The resume is times 1,000 the most important thing. It's the only thing that matters really to get your foot in the door. Everything else, if you're a great interview but your resume is trash, you're not going to get an interview. If you're really smart but your resume is trash, you're not going to get the interview. Like there's nothing you could do, and it starts with a great resume, right? The resume that you need to use is called latexresu.me. So when you go to that website, they have a template. You fill out that template and that will make your resume actually work. Like when I switched from my old resume to this resume and I was applying to a lot of these FAANG companies, it helped me get the interviews. Now, that was at a time that they were hiring a lot more compared to now where they're not hiring as much as they used to, but it was a game changer for me. It actually got my foot into the door. It's helped me get a job. And that's just all I can say is use that resume. Now, there are other resources. You have Reddit. When you go on Reddit, CS Majors, Reddit, CS Careers Canada, etc., sometimes you have people posting about job opportunities, posting about internship opportunities. Now, they used GitHub, and they had a thing on GitHub. I'll try and attach it below, where if you went to GitHub, they would have all the companies that are hiring for summer internships, right? Even Roblox was on there at one point. Now, another thing is Indeed. Indeed helps. Does it help a lot? I haven't had good luck with Indeed, but I've heard Indeed helps for some people. But take that with a grain of salt. It just gives you more companies to apply to. But keep in mind that the competition is steep when you go on Indeed. But at the end of the day, I didn't succeed in computer science. My main goal when I was getting into this field was to make six figures. To be honest, it was to make upwards of six figures, so not just $100,000. But I managed to fumble my Roblox interview, my Meta interview, my Amazon interview, my Circle interview, my TikTok interview, my Square interview. All of those big companies, I managed to fumble those interviews at, and those were the big companies that would have offered me in the six figures, that would have offered me the USD. With the conversion rate being what it is, that would be a huge upgrade in salary. With that being said, I'm still going to chase those. Once you get into a position, after you graduate and you get a job, you become so comfortable, and that grind that you used to have when you're in university is gone. So turning that grind back on is always going to be a struggle. Now, if you grind your leak code, if you don't know what that is, please Google it. If you grind your leak code, if you study all the possible questions, if you review, there's almost no way you can fail. If your resume is nice, then it's almost a lock. It's only a matter of time before you get the job that you want with the salary that you want. With that being said, this is everything I have to say. I'm hoping to kind of get back into it and kind of lock in more. One more negative to add is, if you have any other passions, whether it's music, maybe it's content creation, maybe it's like making movies, maybe it's traveling, you gotta kind of weigh that out before you go to get this degree, because you might be asking yourself, yo, is it worth it? Even though I've graduated before and I'm gonna go put time into this degree again, could I have put all that time and energy into something else that might have been more productive than getting a degree? Or could I just learn to code on myself and try and get a job without having a degree? Not your bio degree, but just a computer science degree, because some companies look at it like, hey, he has one degree, that's good enough for me. That's some things that you might have to take into consideration.